Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Right now I have you guys kind of elevated because I'm going to start with my eyebrows. People wanted to see how I do my eyebrows, so usually we start with my eyebrows already done, but today I am going to do them on camera. Hopefully I do them good today. So yeah, I'll go ahead and start with my eyebrows. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is first of all, let me just let y'all know that there's gonna be a lot of people coming out of my video because they wouldn't respect the fact that I was doing a video. They were just coming to my room without permission. So one of them being my nephew, which is gonna come out right now. Anyways, you're gonna want to start with your eyebrows by starting at the bottom. I always start in the middle, and I don't know if you guys saw, I give a really light stroke to the beginning of my eyebrow. I don't like my eyebrows to look like brick eyebrows. I don't know if you understand, or to look the same color. I like for them to be blended out from a light, like it looks more not natural, because you don't have perfect eyebrows like that, but it looks a lot more natural than having all black, straight full eyebrows. So I do the top, I do the bottom, I do the top, and then I start filling in my eyebrow. I always start with the tail and then move on to the front, keep going, and then I use my spoolie to blend it out, to comb through it, and so that it doesn't look so harsh, or there's not too much product in one part of my eyebrow. So you're gonna want to do that. And then there's my nephew. I got a message, so I was kind of like, what is it? I was trying to read it. So after you do that, you're going to want to do basically the same thing with your other eyebrow. Then you're going to want to go in with your concealer. I ended up using this stick foundation by Wet n Wild, only because I didn't have, I do have concealer. I just don't like to use my concealer because my concealer is a little bit thinner, and that stick foundation was lighter than my skin color. So it was a lot better for me to work with. It was also more of a thick consistency. And in my concealers, I love that thick consistency for my eyebrows, so that way they can look so perfect, and you don't see the thicker, to be honest with you, not the thicker because it's not that thick, but it is pretty thick. It covers up my hairs, and it looks like I have no hairs. Like I would literally not pluck out my eyebrows, and that will cover it. Like, it's that good. So anyways, you start off at the bottom. Well, I start off at the bottom. And then you just keep I like to bring it down. I don't like for it just to be there. I like to bring it down, and when I'm doing the top, I like to bring it up, so that way it doesn't look so crazy, and when I put my foundation over it, it just looks normal, like my skin color. It doesn't look like all white around my eyes and eyebrows, and then my face is all tan. Like, no. So I go up over the top, and I was trying my hardest to stay still, but you do need to be very, very, very careful. My nephew kept moving me, as you can see, and I mean, I was able to fix it, but still, you need to be very careful with the top, because the top either makes it or breaks it, your look, or your eyebrows, actually. So be really, really careful. If you need to take your time, take your time. I literally took like, I always take like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, the max 20 minutes to do my eyebrows, because I love for my eyebrows to be so perfect, and I hate when they come out ugly or something doesn't look right. So just be really careful, and the first time you do your eyebrows will be perfect. Like, you won't have to worry about it, unless you're having a really bad eyebrow day. Then I feel you, sister. Anyways, you're gonna use your beauty blender to blend it in, because it is gonna look, well, that's a foundation, so it doesn't look so crazy for my color. Like, I know a lot of people like to get a really, really light color. That's usually me, but I had that stick foundation that I had ordered, so I decided to just keep using that one, because I actually love it now. I like it more as a concealer than I do a foundation. It didn't really do much for me as a foundation, but as a concealer, I love it. And you're basically repeating the same steps with the first eyebrow with the second eyebrow. Okay, so once you're done, you're gonna use the Milani Prime Shield. Well, not you, right? I'm using the Prime Shield. It's more of a mattifying feel and look to it, but it's alright. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I'm also not, I guess I don't really mind. So once you're done putting that on, I actually grab a little bit of my concealer. It's in the Milani. It's considered a foundation and concealer, but I use that one as a concealer because it's in a 00. And I put it a little bit under my eyes and my nose and at my chin, because that's where I'm a little bit more red. Usually it's like from my nose and from my chin. So that basically just helps me even out my tone. This concealer foundation does oxidize. It really does. So then that's my number 4 foundation from Milani. Same one, concealer and foundation, but that one's actually the one I use for my foundation. The one I use as my concealer. Right now my foundation is looking a lot more dewy, and I really like it because it mattifies right away. Well, not right away, but it will mattify right now, and it starts oxidizing into your color. So it does help, I guess, that it becomes a little bit more dry, so that when I have to use in this case I'm using my Fenty. I always use my Fenty Beauty Truffle. I think it's in the shade Truffle. It's the contouring stick, but I couldn't get it to focus. Anyways, it does help me, the fact that it does dry up a little bit, and it mattifies a little bit faster than other foundations, I guess, because it does helped me the fact that in this case I didn't have my beauty blender. I had to use my brush, which I think I already lost my beauty blender. Now I'm using this brush to blend, and I actually like it because with this foundation it's blending out really, really nice. So I just put some on my forehead, my chin, my nose, and where my cheekbones are, or under my cheekbones, to kind of bring them up a bit. And yeah, basically that's what all there is to contouring. I don't really use it that much, depending on how much you want it, how contoured you want it to look. I don't leave it on. I blend it out to the point where there's almost nothing visible. Well, not nothing visible, but you can still see that there's the contour, but it's more of a bronzing effect, not really of a contouring, because it doesn't make my face look that much thinner. But if you do want it to look a lot more contoured, then you can just not blend it as much as I do. But yeah, I think that's basically the trick to it. And then I go in with my concealer, which is the same one as I was using in the beginning, which is the Milani one. I use that one for my chin, my nose, under my eyes. That one I really like it because, like I said, it mattifies it kind of. It doesn't make it dry, it just mattifies it to where it doesn't look greasy or oily. And then I feel like it covers more. It's a lot more thicker, so it looks like it has more coverage to it, so you can't really see any of my imperfections through this foundation. I really, really do like it. And then I have the Airspun, and I also have the Wet n Wild one. They're both translucent powders. The Wet n Wild is really good. I like it a lot, but I feel like, I mean, it's a perfect translucent powder. The Airspun is more of a, like, it gives you more of that brighter effect. So what I do is, for the bottom, I'm using the Wet n Wild one because it is a lot more, like, it's more translucent. So when you put it on, it just goes back to the color you're using. And the Airspun is kind of a little bit more brighter. So the Airspun will brighten up areas that other powders don't. I guess it's a lot more lighter. It's translucent, but it's more of a brightening powder for me personally. I used to use the Airspun before a lot more, but everybody, not me, but other people would tell me they got flashback. I never would get flashback, maybe because of the foundation I was wearing. I don't know, but I did get flashback maybe like twice, but it was because I changed my foundation. So I'm not sure if it was the powder, the foundation. I don't want to say it was the powder, either or, because they were both together, I guess. So yeah, then I just brush off where I have like my contour so that I can bronze. I do put a little bit of powder so that way the bronzer goes on nicer. I feel like it goes nicer on like that, because if you have it wet still, or like, I think it'll be more patchy, like your bronzer will not go on the way it should be. So you're gonna want to get it on your forehead. I put it on my forehead, on my, basically where I contoured, and in my nose as well. And then I brush it a little bit first I brush where I contour, then I brush where I'm gonna add my blush, so that way I can just put my blush on nicely. had messed up my eyebrow, so I had to fix it. So then there I'm putting on my blush, which basically I haven't been using. I have a lot, honestly. I have like 3 or 4 different blushes, and what I use all the time is always my eyeshadows from the Morphe palette, because I really like the way they have that shimmer. I go crazy with it, like as you can tell, I'm going crazy with my blush, but then I go over it with the powder I already have there, and it kind of like evens out my tone and evens out my my blush, because I do tend to go a little bit crazy. That's why I leave my powder on, because I know what I do with my blush. And then you're just gonna want to brush off everything, all the excess powder, and then I just go over it a little bit, but that one's a little bit more for, I guess, for not for powder reasons, for like to have a little bit extra shimmer. And then I do go in with my highlight. I don't put a lot. I mean, you can see it. It's like, I guess, a good amount, but not, I don't go crazy. The other day I put a lot and it looks so cute. I don't know why I haven't done that. So you just want to get your top of the cheeks and the nose. I am done. This is the finished look. I just did something super simple. And I did go ahead and put like a little bit of mascara on my extensions, just to see like what it would look like. I didn't put a whole lot. I just put very little. I didn't put a lip. I just put gloss, and I put I always put mascara on my eyebrows after I'm done. Excuse me. But and I just did my hair, so nothing big, just something super simple. And yeah, just comment what you guys thought about the look. It was super simple. I think I've done this already before, but yeah, comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.